13 provinces and territories in 13 days, an absolute dream vacation for anybody. Well, youth ambassadors from outside of the country have been traveling across the country, and we'll tell you why. We are joined by Ray Zahab from Impossible to Possible, the founder, of course, Tara Sloan for Rogers Hometown Hockey, and Saeesh Megwani, youth ambassador from India. Welcome, everybody. It's great to have you here. It's such a pleasure. Ray, let's start with you. Tell us, where did this idea stem from?
Well, you know, in 2007, I ran 7,500 kilometers across the Sahara Desert.
Well,
you and I have talked about this before.
Yes, amazing.
And so when I reached the edge of the Red Sea, I thought to myself, what a great learning experience running across the desert was. Like, I learned so much about a culture and people and myself in the process. So my wife and I at the time said, you know what would be a great idea is to recreate this in smaller scale by bringing young people on their own expeditions, their own learning-based expeditions where they can discover things about the world and themselves. That's how it started.
Saeesh, does he have you running across the country? Is this what is going on here?
That was the plan originally, but then it's kind of toned down a little bit from there.
Well, let's talk about how you applied and how you were selected for this.
Well, there was an online application on the website, so you fill in a couple of essays that show your interest and who you are and stuff like that, and then they do a selection process based on the applications, and then they tell you, hey, you're coming to Canada, start running, you must train.
So why did you want to apply? What drew you to this?
Well, there were a bunch of factors. So one of the things was I'm going to be studying here next year, right
at McGill, right?
At McGill,
yeah.
which is it's exciting to be here. So I think learning about Canada in general was kind of an incentive for me, since I will be spending a large chunk of my life to come. And also, I think the idea of having an experiential learning process combined with an intellectual or an academic learning process is something that strikes me as a great idea. And I think it's a great way to learn for me personally.
Absolutely.
And so I thought, being able to see so much of this country, which I didn't really realize was this big.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Canada's big, but then you see it, it's like, it's big.
You can't even put it into words how big it is. Well, Tara, let's talk about your involvement. How
Sure.
and why did you want to get involved in this?
Well, I was approached. Rogers is, I think, not just a sponsor, but really behind Ray and what he's all about,
Yeah.
and just wanted to make this tour happen. They approached me just as Hometown Hockey was coming to a close, and I thought, well, that's insane. Like, why would I want to cross? I've just been crossing the country
Weren't you busy enough?
Yeah, for 6 months I crossed the country. And then I thought, well, but who else? Who else? Well, this is what I do. And we have one of our Hometown Hockey producers with us as well. This is what I do. I tell the stories of Canada. And in a sense, this is a little bit like what I do on Hometown Hockey in terms of like having these experiences in different communities. It's just abbreviated, or it's sort of sped up in a way.
Yeah.
So, I didn't really know what I was getting into, other than I knew it was going to be immersive, and I knew it was going to be a whirlwind, and it has been. And I think, the kids are being asked to test their kind of boundaries and walls and go further than they think they can. And I think the same, everybody has that experience to some degree. And at the beginning, I was like, okay, fine, I'll do this, but just so you know, I don't run.
Yeah, that changed.
and so I.
So
anyway.
are you running now?
Yeah.
He is convinced. I know Ray said to me when
She ran twice yesterday.
We ran,
amazing.
2 5Ks. Because if I don't run, I'm not doing it.
That's true.
And so, it's very inspiring, and the youth ambassadors, seeing Canada through their eyes is also very inspiring.
I can imagine. So, Ray, this is day 10. What have you guys experienced so far?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, we've been in the rainforests in BC. We've done, paddled the Yukon River. We're at Rogers Place in Edmonton, checking out all the Oilers. It's been amazing so far. It's been extraordinary. And that was the goal, was bring young people from countries that have never been to Canada before, and then share Canada, hence the name of the Share Canada Tour, share Canada through their eyes and their perspective, what they're learning about Canada with as wide a global audience as we can achieve. So, it's really a sort of an interesting way during this 150 year to share everything about Canada. I mean, we learned about Truth and Reconciliation, for example, in Saskatoon. We've been learning about, the fine arts in Canada, the arts in the North. All of these things, these components that make us Canadians.
Saeesh, a difficult question, I know, but what's been the highlight for you so far? What's been stood out to you?
That's hard to tell. I mean, you see so much in so little time that, it's hard to kind of pick up. I think in terms of running, when we were in Yellowknife, I think that was a highlight. The trail was really lovely around Frame Lake. And it was the first time I had come into like the cold and the ice. And I thought I won't be able to run here, but I did, and it was.
Well, you better get used to it, buddy, because you're going to McGill in Montreal. There'll be a lot of cold nights for you. Oh, guys, thank you so much for being here. Real pleasure. And you know what? Later on the show, I'm going to share Ray's story, because his story and how he became an ultra marathon runner is absolutely amazing, and it will inspire you. Again, thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate it.